Portland Timbers just closed up training behind me, and amongst them was Canadian international Kamal Miller. It was announced yesterday morning that he will be with the Canadian national team for the Gold Cup, but unlike Max Crepeau, he will not be at the Canadian Shield this weekend, meaning he's available for selection and will likely start against St. Louis. I spoke with Kamal about being back in the national team picture. Who are some of your favorite regulars you get to play with?
Oh, some of the favorite regulars, Richie Lorea, Jonathan Osorio, of course. I love playing with Max for Canada. Dane, obviously, as well. Some of the guys in Europe, Jonathan David is an amazing player. Unfortunately, Fonzie's hurt, so he won't be there, but Fonzie is always a pleasure to play with, a world-class left back. Just quality all around.
Well, I won't tell your college teammate, Tejan Buchanan, you didn't say him, but
How could I forget?
when you guys were at Syracuse together, did you ever think, hey, maybe one day we're on the national team with one another?
Yes, it happened a lot sooner than I thought, honestly. Tejan's trajectory, I predicted right away. First practice, I saw him as a freshman. I knew he was special, and he was going to make an impact and be a big player for the country. He showed right away with the 23s, and then to go on to do what he's done, play for these big European clubs, some of the biggest clubs in the world. It's amazing to see, and I'm so proud of him.
Phil Neville and company will have to figure out what St. Louis City is bringing to Providence Park, and if they get a result. In fact, St. Louis has never lost at Providence Park, but it would be just their third win over their last 26 games away from Energizer Park. David Ashala will be a big reason if the Timbers get a result, and I asked Phil Neville, what are some things that fans might not realize about him as he tries to make a push towards an all-star game?
You have midfield players that get put into a bucket. You're either an 8 that goes forward and scores goals, or you're a 6 that sits. And I think with David, I actually think he can do both. I think his technical ability means that he can be a good 6, and then he does like to break forward. He's a threat from set plays. He's really good in the air. I just think he's an all-round midfield player. And, the second half of the season, I'd say is going to be a big 5-6 months for him, because it's when the big games come and we want him to play in the big games to the same level.
And Ashala talked about the possibility of being named an all-star and what an honor it would be.
Me pone muy contento que el equipo, que el club esté promocionándome para el estar, obvio. Siento que eso demuestra que uno está haciendo las cosas bien, entonces me pone muy feliz. Y nada, si se llega a dar, sería algo muy lindo para mí. Así que nada, esperando a ver qué pasa y tranquilo por los resultados.
I'm very happy that the club and the people are pushing me for All-Star. I think it shows that I've been doing things right, and that makes me really happy. It would be nice if it happened, to be honest, but at the end of the day, we'll wait and see what happens. I'm focused on getting results.
Portland saw St. Louis 3 times last year, including a loss in the Leagues Cup tournament in the Midwest. But this is going to be a much different-looking St. Louis side. They fired Olaf Melberg, who is just the second shortest tenured coach in MLS history, 15 games into his time in St. Louis. In come David Critchley. Just 2 years ago, he was coaching the academy. This year, he was coaching St. Louis City 2, and now he is the caretaker manager for the first team. And Lutz Pfannenstiel, their sporting director, signaled that this is a move not just based on results, but they want to get back to a pressing, high-energy style of play. What have you seen from David Critchley in that first game he managed?
Well, I mean, they've definitely changed system. They've changed in terms of their intensity. They've gone back to probably the St. Louis team that we probably faced last year under John Hackworth and under Bradley Carnell. I think that was a big part of their identity. So we're going to be facing a different team, one that won their game last week, that's going to be full of confidence. They look like they've got a little bit of happiness back, and it's going to be a difficult game.
A few status updates on players. It seems like James Pantemis is going to be good to go for this game.
Jimmy's good to go. He's trained all week. Tuesday, I think we were just going through Tuesday, Wednesday's training, which was our high peak days of training, making sure that he came through there without any reaction. Today, he said he felt perfect. Wednesday, he trained really well. We've got obviously Trey. Trey looks good as well. So, but Jimmy's good to go.
Phil Neville alerted media on Tuesday that Jonathan Rodriguez will be out for the start of June at the very least. And here's what he said about Jonathan Rodriguez's injury status going forward.
I'd say that that's a vague 2 weeks at this moment in time, where obviously Jonathan's getting treatment here. He's He's frustrated. We're a little bit frustrated too, but I think the care of the player is the most important thing. He played that game against San Jose and got a little bit of a reaction. We need to make sure that when he comes back in the best possible shape.
Be sure to hydrate, put your sunscreen on. It is going to be a steamy Sunday night soccer, but also a game the Timbers, like when they face Sporting Kansas City with an interim manager, are expected to win. They want to end this new coach bump that David Critchley has given St. Louis. I'll catch you on the post-game report on Sunday night.